Good afternoon again. Thank you again for joining with us on Devotions from a Distance as we share God's Word to give us words of hope and encouragement. In Job, the first chapter, verse 8, we read these words. And the Lord said to Satan, Have you considered my servant Job? There is none like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man who fears God and turns away from evil. In our text today, Satan has been going throughout the earth, considering the humanity that God has created. Satan, who is the accuser, does not make any accusations just yet. God initiates the conversation by asking Satan, Did you see Job? He's something. The man lives a blameless life, fears God, and shuns all evil. Wow. It would be something if one of you could say those kind things about me, but your analysis would be on a very limited store of information. Here, the God of all creation, who knows all about Job, gives him this glowing appraisal. Now, that's something. I love this story. Satan thinks that he's on the offensive. He thinks that he has God trapped. In fact, when many of you read this account, you're thinking in your mind that God has just thrown Job under the bus. However, what you and Satan don't realize is that God is in complete control all the time. Satan is looking for a flaw in God's creation. He is looking to rob God of his glory. God takes the initiative and brings up Job. Do you see it? God is baiting Satan, and Satan bites hook, line, and sinker. God is holding up Job and saying to Satan, Did you see Job? Hit him with your best shot. He will not flinch. He will not bend. He will not fold. Job is the real deal. Far from throwing Job under the bus, God is telling Satan, You can do what you will, but Job will stand fast. So often we think that when difficulties arise in our lives and we suffer grief and loss and heartache, that God has abandoned us. We wonder where God is and why he would allow these bad things to happen in our lives. Well, the reality is that God not only allows these things to happen, he ordains them. Notice in the context of our text, it's God that tells Satan, Go ahead and do what you want to Job, but you cannot take his life. See, God didn't just allow this to happen, he instigated it by putting his limits on it. Why? God did it for Job's good and for his glory. True to form, Job did not give in, he did not give up, and he did not sin at any time during the crisis. He asked tough questions. He struggled. He expressed pain and confusion. He longed for a meeting with God. But then when he got that meeting, he trembled in the presence of God and was silent before him. Job realized what we all need to understand. There is a God, and it's not us. We cannot fathom the ways of God, but we can trust him. Throughout the trials of Job, God was in complete control. He gave Job the strength and faith to stand firm in the midst of trials. In that same manner, our God is in complete control, even when it seems when our life are spinning out of control. When we think that God is unfair or that God has abandoned us, perhaps we should reread Job and realize that the God who formed us in the womb knows exactly what we can endure. He knows what we need to be more completely shaped in the image of his Son. You see, God accepts us like we are, but he loves us too much to leave us that way. Oftentimes, the crises that we face are the chisel and hammer that God uses to break off the rough edges and that diminish his image within us. He continues to break away the distortions of sin and immaturity until his image can be clearly seen. God knows what we can endure, and he knows what we need to be a clear representation of Christ. As I consider God's evaluation of Job, a blameless and upright man who fears God and shuns evil, I'm astounded that the God of the universe, who knows Job inside and out, would make this declaration. When God says it, we know it's true. It's not the same as our analysis of one another. For instance, I was playing ball with a 5-year-old the other day. She made the comment, Man, you run really fast. Now, at first I thought, wow, I'm 58 and she thinks I'm fast. Then I considered the source. One should not get too excited when a 5-year-old says you run fast, because what she's really saying is you run like a 6-year-old. Have a great day. I love you. I want to encourage you with God's truth. He is with you, and he will see you to the end.